So I'd been living in Hawaii, and I was being a mother, and I learned to garden and to love my child, and that was the best in my family, and it was the best yoga I ever did. That was living yoga. Something was very key. I needed to learn how to grow vegetables. That was very key to my spiritual path. I came to Singapore, and I immediately found a meditation group that was based on Osho meditations, and this lovely teacher, Maitreya, who comes from India, and I had very profound experiences of what we might call tasting enlightenment, or a taste of awakening. And after this, I went through a period of what is called the dark night of the soul, or what I call the ego's rally. And this was an incredibly painful process that was sort of revolving around my separation from my husband. And in that, something broke within me. Something began to realize, from a witness point of view, the true nature of reality. Then I got Pai's book. So my teacher, Pai Villaraza from the Philippines, I read his book, and I understood what he was talking about. I understood everything it was saying, and I had to meet this person, so I emailed him, and 10 minutes later he emailed me back, and we began a conversation, and the next thing I know, he's in my home teaching workshops in Singapore, and this is the inner dance. This is the process of inner dance that I was learning with him. And in my very first session, very big experiences were happening. And then there was the really cathartic experience that broke open and sort of dissolved, I would say, a good 90 to 98% of my egoic consciousness. It dissolved it, and it lasted 7 days. So 7 days, I experienced living completely in flow, with no doer whatsoever, and so much was being done. There was no effort, there was no conditioning going on. And I really wanted to know what had happened. Again, all the egoic habits came back and started to reformulate, and I suddenly had a lot of questions. A whole lot of questions came out of that. So I went to a good friend of mine, and I started speaking to her. And she was a Buddhist. She studied Buddhism with Geshe Michael Roach. And she said, "Oh, all your questions are tantric." And I said, "Great. What's tantric?" You know, she said, "You need a Tibetan tantric teacher." I had no idea what she was talking about, but I said, "Okay, great. You know, where do I sign up? Where do I get this teacher?" And she said, "Oh, you can't. It's secret." So, well, how do I learn it? She said, "No, well, you can't. You know, you have to study for 12 years or 23 years or, I don't know, 30-something years, and then they teach it to you." And I said, No, I don't have. I need it now. This is happening now. So I did what I always do. I prayed to the universe. I used my manifestation skills, and I said, I need a Tibetan tantric teacher. And they have to be really accessible to me. In fact, I wanted them to live in my house, was the idea, so that I could get daily teachings. And the only other thing I asked is that they speak good English. And sort of a semi-long story short, about 2.5 months later, I had a Western Tibetan Lama, a female, living in my house and teaching me one-on-one Tibetan Tantra. And what that did was it brought a framework to what was happening, or what seemed to be happening within me. And that framework was very useful. I took that framework, I took that practice, and I brought it into the inner dance. And each time the layers unfolded more and more. Each time when I thought the experience surely can't get any bigger than this, surely this is as big as it gets, there was more. And then there was more. And this was all working with Pi in the Philippines. And I was beginning to facilitate at that time.